Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be unboxing the MacBook Pro with M5 chip in the color space black. If you saw in my last MacBook video, I was previously using a MacBook Air, so I'm really excited to see how this performs and also share with all of you whether I think it might be worth the upgrade. But first of all, let's get started with the unboxing. So inside the box there's the laptop and also the charging cord and brick. I am absolutely obsessed with the rope texture of the charging cord, and the black is also so nice. I don't know how to describe it, but it doesn't really reflect a lot of light, so it sort of looks like a shadow. Like it looks like I don't know, like really crisp and clean, and I'm obsessed. I think the great thing as well is that sometimes the lighter colors can get dirty pretty easily. I found with the white cords it happens a lot, so I think that this could be great in terms of hiding it. It's a USB-C to MagSafe, which I think is one of the best changes they've reverted back to. I love that MagSafe is back, and it also has a light indicating whether it is fully charged or not. There's also the user manual, which I always love to see. As a design student, I just love how clean and minimal it is, from just font sizing to spacing. It also comes with a polishing cloth, which has sort of this like velvety texture to it. Not essential, but I think it's just something that's quite nice to have. I am someone who has fingerprints all over my screen. I don't even know how that happens. But yeah, last time when I went to the Apple store at the Genius bar, they literally was like, wait, can you just give us one moment? And cleaned up my screen, which was so embarrassing, but it's okay. It also comes with a charging brick. The charging brick though only comes with one USB-C port, which I'm a little bit sad about. I loved the dual port system. I remember being really surprised because I didn't know that Apple made those, but it was so good for traveling and also just at home as well, so I'll definitely miss that, but I hope they bring that to the Pro range. I have heard that it's because it doesn't charge your laptop as fast, so probably for the Pro range they just kept it at 1 so that it was more powerful and charged the MacBook faster. One thing I do love about the Pro that's not on the MacBook Air is the ports it has. There's 3 USB-C, a headphone jack, MagSafe, HDMI, and also my favorite, the SD card reader. Being someone who works a lot with cameras and SD cards, and also once spent 4 hours at the Apple store with my friend trying to figure out why my port wasn't working with my SD card reader, and ended up having to get another SD card reader. I've never had a laptop with an SD card reader before, so wow, that was a lot of SD card readers, but I genuinely am so excited about this. And if you're someone who works a lot with editing or like cameras and just like uses SD cards a lot, I think this is definitely one of the advantages of having a MacBook Pro. I think one of the things aside from the unboxing of the product itself that always gets me really excited about new updates and products is the welcome screen. Like when it says hello in all the different languages. I don't know if that's just me or if anyone else also gets excited about this. Anyway, I hadn't actually updated it to the Tahoe update on my MacBook Air, so seeing the new update on the laptop was also really cool. By the way, Apple also kindly provided these products for me to try, but as always, all thoughts and opinions are completely my own. When setting up my Mac, I like to remove some apps that I don't usually use from the dock. I think it just helps to keep it a bit more clean and a little bit less overwhelming as well. I also like to hide the dock when I'm not using it, so overall I think it gives it a bit more of a larger display. I always love setting up a little memoji. I think it's so fun. I used to actually just have the matcha emoji for my profile, but I'm starting to feel like maybe memoji is the way to go this time. Actually, I did run into one issue when I was transferring from my old MacBook to this one. I wasn't able to find my MacBook Air to do migration assist, and I don't know if this is a way you're supposed to do it, but what ended up working for me is I realized that on your new Mac, you need to click from a Mac, and then on your old Mac or the one that you're transferring from, you also open migration assist and then you click on to another Mac, and then that will give you the code you need to start the process in case anyone else also runs into the same issue. In the new update as well, you have the option to choose whether you want like default or the dark mode, clear or tinted like you can on the iPhone as well. I haven't quite explored that yet, but I know that under appearance in general settings, or just like the settings app, sorry, you can find those options there. And then on the iPhone, I love just having the clear mode on. I feel like it just feels a lot more calming and just makes everything a little bit less overwhelming, which I really like. But I think on the MacBook, I prefer it to be colorful. I don't know, I feel like since there aren't a lot of apps, it doesn't feel as overwhelming as it does on the phone to begin with anyway. But there's also a new bin design, which is very interesting. I feel like it caught me a bit off guard, I don't know, like, but I do love the little design details and finding like little things with the design changes. Yeah. After having used it for a couple days, I will say that there are definitely some things I really like and some other things that I feel like I haven't considered before. To be honest, I was really surprised when I switched to the MacBook Air at how well it had handled things overall, especially in the beginning when I didn't have as much on my laptop. It loaded apps like so quickly. I was really impressed. I did find that since I do graphic design and I use the Adobe Suite a lot, that over time with larger files and also just more things on my laptop, it did start to struggle a little bit more. Sometimes with rendering, it would take a bit of time to load, or it would kind of give the rainbow spinning wheel. But overall, I feel like it did really well, and the battery life was also amazing. Like, with consistently using it and also using design software a lot, like, I've only had to maximum charge it once a day, and usually that was sometime in the evening. But I do think that with larger projects, a Pro was probably the better option. So some key differences between the two of them. First of all, I think like physically you can see that the screen is a bit bigger because the Pro is 14 inches, which I think is the perfect size. You get a good amount of screen size without it being too heavy, and the MacBook Air was 13 inches, which was also really good. I think I do prefer this over the 16 inch since that one does get a little bit more bulky and heavy, but it's great if you like a larger display. I hadn't actually realized this until I started properly using it, but the display on the MacBook Pro is also different. Like, it sort of gives a matte texture, which is really cool, and I think it helps reduce screen glare a lot, and I don't know, it just sort of gives me the vibe that it's like better for your eyes. And the color on it is also a bit nicer as well, I will say. I really like that. The speakers also feel like you're being surrounded by sound, like rather than having sound come at you. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels really cool. I will say that one thing I didn't think of is the fingerprints and marks on black. Even without hand cream, I can see like the marks, and I think it does come up a lot more on the darker color. I didn't really have this issue with space gray before, or maybe it wasn't as obvious, so I didn't really notice as much, but with the black, I feel like it definitely shows. I don't think it comes up very well on video, but I will say that's probably the one thing that bugs me a little, and if that also bugs you, then silver is probably the better option. Also, if you're thinking of choosing between the MacBook Pro or the MacBook Air, I would say like personal preference. I think if you plan on using it for uni, more for like essays or work that doesn't require as much power, like daily use, the MacBook Air is a great option, and you can also save some money. Also for students, Apple has Apple Education, which gives you a bit of a discount on the products, but if you do a lot of like heavy editing, film, design with larger files, then I think maybe look into the Pro option, as that might be a better fit. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and whether you're thinking about getting the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro. I'm really excited to use this out a bit more and see what it's like. Maybe I'll do like a 1 month or 2 month update if that's something you guys want to see. Please let me know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!